I mean,
I was reminded of that toast that Elaine once gave.
I feel like this week, I mean, I kind of joked about this on my pod yesterday, but I could feel like I can see Jerry in the coaches' meetings this week and be like, well, gosh, damn it. All I know is if we play the damn Green Bay Packers this week, I don't care if we win or lose, but Micah Parsons better not go off. He better not get 3 sacks against us this week. You better triple team his ass if he's over there, because I don't want to hear it from everybody all week long after that. I mean, he's under pressure this week, whether he likes it or not, because everybody is going to be watching the show that Micah Parsons might put on in this one.
Do you think he'd rather lose the game and have Micah have 0 sacks, or win the game and have Micah have 3.5 sacks?
I've thought about that. It's a tough one. I guess I still think he'd probably want to win the game, right? He'll be able to spin it any way he wants if he wins the game. He'll find a stat and go, hey, look, we stopped the run. They couldn't do that, but something, right? He'll be able to say something of that nature, but. Yeah, I mean, if he wants his cake and eat it too, he wants to win, and he doesn't want to hear about Micah Parsons.
Yeah, and we knew that this was happening. It's 1 month to the day when the game starts from the day that he was traded. And it goes back to the idea, and I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves because we've got more Jerry Sound, and he addresses some of the things that many have realized and pointed out, that they waited too damn long to do this. And the reality is, one of the reasons that he got traded to the Packers was because it was either the Packers or the Eagles. We had Jason Garrett on the show the day after the trade happened, and he was asked, what would you have said if you were the coach of the Cowboys and Jerry told you Mike is being traded to the Packers? Can we not do that? So if the alternative is the Eagles, okay, I get it. But if you do this earlier, he's not a Packer. Somebody from the AFC has the cap space and the ability to give you the assets you need to have the run-stopping defensive tackle that you had to have as a result of this trade. Whether you get extra draft picks to get him because you did it before April, or because you get a veteran player that they send you. But the earlier you do a move like this, obviously the more flexibility and the more opportunities there are, because teams haven't, number one, spent their money, and number two, haven't otherwise addressed their needs and haven't otherwise constructed their team. So, the fact that it's the Packers and they knew it was the Packers, basically it was either the Packers week 4 or the Eagles week 1, and again later in the season. Because if he wasn't going to be a Cowboy, it was either going to be Green Bay or gangrene, although they're not gangrene. They're the early birds now. That's the new term for the team that has the tush-push and takes off a little too early. I kind of like the early birds. But that was it. That's why he's a Packer. That's it, plain and simple, because there was no other alternative. And now, good luck. Good luck, especially getting the Packers a week after they were flat,
right,
and lost to a team that they should have beaten, maybe because they were thinking a little bit too much about, Micah's next big game, the return to Dallas.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, they screwed it up last week, right? I mean, the interception at the end of the football game, by all due accounts, they're going to win the game 10-3. I mean, their defense is awesome, that's for sure. The Browns, I think, are showing us they're a little better than maybe what we thought. The defense is crazy good, Mike. I mean, crazy good. I was shocked, really, kind of studying the film of that game the other day and watching it. I mean, it's impressive. Jim Schwartz has kind of reinvented himself, right? But at the same time, all the points you're talking about are right, 100%. It's ludicrous to think that you maximize trade value and all of that at the end of August. That's ludicrous. Most teams are like, wait, we can't lose players right now. We have no replacement. We haven't planned for the future. To do it in the springtime allows teams to go, wait, they want draft picks and this player? Okay. Well, free agency's still going about here. There's some people we can signed to replace the D tackle or somebody we're going to trade. We have the draft. You bring more teams to the table that way because more teams have options at that point, which then what? Adds to the trade value because now it starts to become a bidding war and an arms race to get Micah Parsons. So come on. Like, I just, at times they say things and the Cowboys do things where I'm like, do you think none of us have paid attention to football and been around the league and know a few things? Like, are you really think you can just say that and we're going to be like, oh, yeah, he's right. Yeah, that's right. No, you're wrong. And that makes no sense at all, but they're going to say what they got to say right now to make themselves look good.
Well, and that's a reflection, and I want to be careful here because I don't want to get us off the rails, but we live in a time where when in doubt, just say whatever you want to say, even if it's not true. Even if the vast majority of people will hear it and roll their eyes. Just say whatever you want to say. I said last week, as it related to the story of the moment, the Tom Brady conflict of interest, which may or may not be visited again later in this program, that we talk about 80-20 issues in politics. This was more like 95-5 once we saw him in the coaching booth. This is 95-5 as it relates to when the Cowboys should have traded Micah Parsons. Of course they should have done it earlier. No one is disputing that. Well, one person is, and his name is Jerry Jones. Here he is from 105.3 The Fan yesterday, trying to make the case, presumably with a straight face, that he maximized the return for Micah Parsons by waiting until August 28th to do the trade.
We needed this timing. We needed to be right here at the beginning of the season, in my mind, to get the highest value. I heard people talking about, well, why didn't you trade him back before the draft? Because draft picks become the most valuable timing-wise. You can have them in the offseason before the draft. That's when the pick becomes much more valuable and the player becomes less valuable if you're trading a player for potential picks. So I knew the time to get the picks was while this season was available to whoever got Micah. Having said that, the timing was right when it should have been.
It's just ridiculous. It really is. You get draft picks that are exercised before the 2025 draft, so you have players on your team this year, not next year, not a first-round pick in 2026 and a first-round pick in 2027. They're going to be low first-round picks because the Green Bay Packers are going to be good, unless they keep playing like they did against the Browns. And you get more. You can do the Deshaun Watson thing. That was one of the arguments that we made in the aftermath of the trade. Look at what Nick Caserio, the Texans GM, did in 2022 when a guy who hadn't played for a year and who had 20-plus civil lawsuits alleging misconduct during massage therapy sessions hanging over him. Look at what Caserio got by creating a competition, by having multiple teams at the table. Dallas had two teams, neither of which they really wanted to send him to. So that's why you do it early. And it's okay, people. It's okay when you're wrong to just say it. It's okay. You won't be struck by lightning. Life will continue. Instead of continuing to back yourself into a corner with bullshit. That's what Jerry's doing. That's what Tom Brady's doing, if we get to it later in the program. Just own up to it. Why can't we live in a world where when people step in it, they notice it and they scrape it off of their shoe instead of walking around saying, I don't know what that smell is, but it ain't me.
No, I listen, it's a good conversation. I think where we are in social media and stuff like that, though, a lot of times when you admit and do stuff like that, you just get, smashed even more. And you become a meme, and people use that against you. And, oh, look, he said here he doesn't know they messed up or whatever. He doesn't know what he's doing. So we're at a time now where, people just don't back down. It doesn't matter. And also, there's a part of me that goes, I don't know. Is that what he legitimately thinks? Maybe it is. I mean, sometimes
if it is, they got bigger problems in Dallas. There's not going to be any glory hole anytime soon in Dallas.
We've seen some backwards thinking there when it comes to this type of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. And, the whole point about the player being devalued because the draft is right around the corner and the picks are so valuable at that time, like maybe that holds true against a lot of people in the NFL, but not with like superstar players like Micah Parsons. It would have changed nothing. It would have changed absolutely nothing. The value is the value of that player. People would have made moves, paid him the contract, and been more aggressive in making the moves because they had more of time and a future to plan with other assets to build the rest of their football team. So yeah, I just don't agree with that. And I, like you said, yeah, they could have used it against him, against other teams like Nick Caserio, and been like, hey, like you've always mentioned, here's the starting point to start talking with us. This many picks and a player here. Okay, you're welcome to the table. Now let's see who gives us the best one here at the table. That's what it could have happened. So, yeah, I don't agree with his take on that totally. And especially rules are off, like the things he's saying, when it comes down to guys like a Micah Parsons.
Think about the mindset in the offseason. You want to win the press conference. You want season tickets to be renewed. And maybe that's one of the reasons why they didn't trade him. It's kind of late to exercise your non-renewal of your season tickets for your Cowboys fan when one of the team's best players gets traded 10 days before the regular season starts. But back in March, you're trying to create excitement. And every year we see guys who shouldn't get paid big contracts get paid big contracts because they're in the right place at the right time. They're the best of the available free agents. So that first day, so many guys, and I love it when they get paid. I don't love it when they get blocked from getting paid because of the franchise tag or whatever, but I love it when the guys get paid. But part of the mentality is this is a chance for us to create buzz in our market. This is a chance for us to get people excited about our team. It's the tension between football and marketing in a business that is ultimately premised on making as much money as possible. So, if Micah Parsons is available to the rest of the league in March, it's a different overall corporate experience, even though they aren't technically corporations for the most part, some are. It's an overall different corporate experience because then you're not just thinking, how can this guy help us on Sunday? It's how can this guy help us make a shitload of money today? We have a chance to bring in a guy who's going to be the crown jewel of the franchise. What is it going to take to get him? I don't care. It's Micah Parsons. Let's get this done. They would have had teams lined up. So I reject, as you all should, and I think most people do, Jerry Jones trying to say this. And at some point, doesn't it insult our intelligence? That's the other side of it, too.
That's what I was saying.
That's the problem when people just won't own up to it.
Right.
Do you think we're stupid?
No, I know.
Jerry,
I don't think
do you think we're stupid?
I'm with you. It's one of those things where I'm like, some people in my real life that are like this, too, sometimes, where I'm just like, do you really think I buy that bullshit you just told me? I don't say it, but I kind of just walk away. But at the same time, it makes you think differently of the person because you go, wait, are they a compulsive liar or do they just think I'm that stupid that I'm going to believe that? And no, sometimes it's both. I don't know. All right. But yeah, it is crazy. It is. And I don't think anybody's buying that explanation around the NFL right now.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.